everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am a day late. This was supposed to go up on Wednesday yesterday, but here it is Thursday, and you have the reveal of the fabric that I was going to talk about in the project that I was going to talk about. So if you saw, I did kind of post an update yesterday. This video is up late because a couple things. I had to get buttons, and then my main machine is in the shop. So I'm not going to go into any long drawn out details about it. I did write about it on my Ko-fi page. I want to thank everyone for all of your contributions and all of your support in liking the Facebook page, as well as contributing or just following along on the Ko-fi page. I did post an update about how I plan to help reach my goal of the industrial machine. For those who would like to consider buying me a coffee, please feel free to go ahead and click the link below. Otherwise, just go over there and read about what happened to my machine and what I plan to do to kind of help reach my goal. And I do have a backup machine. My backup machine, for those who've been following me, you know I took my machines in last year for maintenance, both of my machines. And so the SE Brother is my backup machine. SE 400 Brother is my backup machine, but I've only used it over this past year a handful of times to do buttonholes. I hadn't been sewing on it. So with my main machine going back down, I had to take it back to the shop. It's nice that this is was just ready to go and to step in so I can continue to sew. So yeah, if you want to read about what happened to my workhorse, yeah, go ahead and click the Ko-fi page down there, read all about it, and read about what is going on. So that brings us to another point I want to take care of. So when I posted about my holiday Christmas gifts that I'll be making, my handcrafted gifts, there was a few people that talked about, you know, they're also planning and getting their things together. So I came up with this idea that perhaps, and let me know, what I'm going to do is post a poll, and the poll will go right here. If you are on your mobile device or on any mobile device, you will see the iCard that pops up or poll that pops up, and go ahead and vote. If you're watching it from your TV, you won't be able to see that. You won't be able to vote from your TV. But if you're on your mobile device, cell phone, tablet, or whatever, click the poll so I know which would you prefer. And I'll tell you what I prefer. And then we're going to just jump right into this dress because, yeah. Anyway, so I have selected all of the patterns and most of the holiday gifts that I'll be making. A majority of them will be handbags and wallets, and a combination of both, and a few other things. And so I thought it would be fun because a couple people have already kind of asked, and I'm by no means, you all know, I'm getting into this whole handbag. You all know I start projects off very small. I started, well, kind of, sort of. But at any rate, you know I am enjoying making handbags and all of that good stuff. And so a couple people wanted to see me, watch me sew or put some bags together or whatever. So what I was thinking about doing is doing lives. Here's the option. What would you prefer? And I'll tell you why I prefer one over the other. So I'm thinking about doing lives every week in the month of November. For one reason, to keep me on track to make sure these gifts get made and in the mail in time to who they need to go to. So I figure the month of November I can start with those. I picked out all of the patterns that I'll be making for everybody, or whatever it is that I'll be handcrafting, the bags, the handbags, or whatever the wallet is that I'll be making. Now I'm in the process of sourcing all of the hardware and fabrics. And so what I thought would be fun is every week I will come live. I'm thinking it's going to be a Monday because Mondays usually work best for me. That I'll still continue my Sunday videos. I'll still continue my Wednesday videos. But on Mondays, probably around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm in Texas, so you can always catch the replay, right? But I will come in every Monday, and I'll just, you know, the first video will be about here is the pattern, here are the fabrics that I'll be using to create this, and then start creating that bag. Now there might be some steps I'll do in advance to kind of cut down on that time that I'll be going live, but it'll, however long it takes me, I'm thinking throughout the month of November, every week I should be able to complete those projects, crossing fingers, right? Nothing comes up, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. Or I was thinking just recording myself doing it and then posting it as a separate video. But what I like about the lives is that if people have questions or anything that I feel like I can answer, I can do that live. And if you are also on your, you know, ready to start making your handmade gifts and handcrafted gifts, whatever that may be, you can just be making those while I'm making mine, and we're just kind of sewing together at the same time. So I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm thinking lives, I think that will be fun, and things may switch up or whatever. I think it's just, you know, fun to do lives, and then instead of editing everything down, but anyway, I will leave that poll here, so let me know what you think about that. So this video is all about mainly all about Sewtwinning. So Myra Lorraine had asked me, we talked about this early August, I think it was early August, it could have even been late July, because this was around the time when I was going to Florida and we met up with Myra. You all know about that. But during that time, she had asked me if I would be interested in doing the Sewtwinning. So while we were in Florida, the goal was to kind of hit some fabric stores together, and then maybe find the fabric that way. But all the stores weren't open on that Sunday, and so we actually should have went that Saturday, but we were busy doing other things, hanging out, and so the only store that was open on that Sunday was the one that you saw in the video. So I went that following day when it was a few days later when we were leaving. When I was leaving Florida, I went to A to Z Fabric, and remember I said that there was a fabric that was for a special project that I would share in the future. Well, that's what this is, and this is our Sewtwinning fabric. I am so super excited about it. So I'll link to that video if you want to see. I did record a little bit of being at A to Z Fabrics in Fort Lauderdale, and then I did my haul for what I bought from A to Z Fabrics, but I didn't show this. And so I'll link to that, and you can go check that out if you are interested. But the Sewtwinning challenge, and let me get my notes, because actually I wasn't aware of who was running the challenge. It's not one where you win prizes or anything. It's just something fun to do. You and another person, another sewist, pick a fabric that you both like, and then you create a garment out of it. It doesn't have to be the same garment or anything like that, but you both have created something from that same fabric. And so let me just tell you about the Sewtwinning project. If you want to know more, it is hosted by Sylvia of The Ravel Out, Brittany of Brittany J. Jones, Keira of Island Socialist, and Maureen of Raven Marine. And so I will leave all of their information down in the description box below. So this fabric, and what I'm going to do is just kind of I wanted to show, I'll have pictures too, but I wanted to show a few things while I was in it. So you kind of knew where I was coming from with a couple things. But this is the Cashmerette Lenox Shirtdress. I usually write on the front of my patterns how long I've had patterns, but I've had this pattern at least 2 years, a little over. And so when I saw this fabric, and let me just share with you, it is well, the guy at the fabric store said it is a polyester rayon. I would venture to say, and I think Myra agreed, it's more poly than rayon in it, but it's still a very nice, beautiful fabric. And actually these earrings, shout out to Ankara and Lace, they have opened up a jewelry store, and when she posted these earrings, I was like, oh, that's gonna match the fabric I bought. So yeah, because I didn't have any earrings. Y'all know I like to kind of accessorize, and so I didn't have any earrings to match this, and I thought, oh, these are perfect. So they are a very cute earring. But anyway, so so that's what this is, and I am wearing View. This is View. Let me just take a peek at the pattern. I traced off all my pattern pieces. This is a combo of View A and View B. View, and I say that because View B, I use View B collar, but I did View A the pleated skirt. I didn't do, I don't like gathers, so I did the pleated skirt, but I did View B the actual collar. And so you all know that I will be doing, I was given permission by Cashmerette Patterns to do a couple sew-alongs on my channel, so I will be doing those. Those will be coming up here within the next month or two. It'll be before the end of the year, for sure, during the Upton dress, and I will be doing the Concord tee. But if you have any other requests, because I've made, you guys know I've made quite a few of the Cashmerette patterns quite a few times. I've made the Upton many times, and so but anyway, let me know that. So as you all know, the Cashmerette patterns go from sizes 12 through 28 with a cup size from C to an H. And and let me just step back here because I want you to see I love this fit. What I cut out was I had to grab my notes. I cut out a 22 cup GH, and I cut out a waist of 24 and a hip of 24 because my bust I measured at 51, 45, and 52 for the hip. And so I will say there are a lot of pattern pieces. I know, but it's only 14. And when I say for the thing that takes the most time to put together of all the pattern pieces are just the bodice pieces, because there's no darts or anything. It's all princess seam, and so you have a really good fit, and that's why I wanted to leave this on. Look at the back. Can you see that? No sway back needed. No sway back adjustment needed at all. I hope that's not blurring out, but I also have pictures too that I'll show. The fit around the bust, it just fits beautifully, and the waist here, it just fits beautifully. And I can't really show you backing up here in my sewing room, but I'll show you. The only thing I would have changed is lengthening the skirt. The waist sits perfect, but I would have lengthened the skirt about 2 inches, and I didn't think about lengthening it because usually for Cashmerette, any of the skirt pieces, they always hit right pretty much just at the middle part of my knee. So this is a little above my knee, so that's the only thing I would have probably just lengthened it maybe an inch or two and see where that gets me. But I do have the pockets in. I did put the pockets in this one, and I will say that as far as time it took me to sew, it took me, well, at my machine ended up, I couldn't sew on my machine and was having issues, and so I had to put that away. So with all of that, it took me across 3 days. So I was working on it part of a Sunday, and then after work, you know, that type thing, in the evening. So I would imagine after you've traced off your pattern, cut out all the pattern pieces, interfaced everything from beginning to end, it could take you anywhere from 4 to 6 hours if you're just consistently working on this project from start to finish. But this is my first time ever doing one of, I think this is called a Mandarin collar, where there's no collar stand, it's just the collar. And this is something else I wanted to show about how it kind of flops open like this. I think it's because of the interfacing. I wonder with this if I could have got away with using a knit interfacing as opposed to, I use the woven interfacing. And so, I mean, I want it to stand up, but I feel like it's bowing out a little bit up here at the top. But I mean, it still looks good. It's not like it doesn't look good or anything. But yeah, so that was about it. And I love the fact that I didn't have to do a collar. You know, this, I know this is just literally the collar stand, and then you will have the collar for a normal collar, but I like this very simple way of putting on the collar stand. So let me pause here because I want to show you the inside of the garment and a couple of the construction notes that I have written. Okay, so I am back. So far as the construction, I thought that instructions were really good. I'm used to Jenny's instructions now and her patterns because a lot of like the waistband and how you do waistband and our sleeves is pretty much the same in all of her patterns, and so I didn't have any issues with that. I actually didn't have any issues with any of the instructions. Nothing about the instructions stumped me. Like I said, when you're dealing with princess seams, it's just a lot of pieces you're putting together because you have the side pieces that go here, and then this front facing pieces, and then you have the middle back piece, and which is cut on the fold, and then you have your side back pieces, because putting together the skirt wasn't a problem at all. And so, well, one of the things, the skirt is actually cut out in 2 pieces. Now for future, I don't know that, it would depends on your fabric, how much fabric you have and the width of your fabric, because I could easily see cutting the back piece out on the fold and still doing your gather, whether you're going to do the gathers or whether you're going to do the pleats. I didn't necessarily see a reason to have a back seam for the skirt piece. I will say, you all know, I've said this many a time, I am horrible at putting down the inside of a collar. Let me try to let this zoom in, and then stitching it in and all that other different stuff. You see how good, whoops, let me kind of put the hanger down. You see how good that looks? Let me tell you how I do that again for those who are new to the channel. I heat bond it all the way down on the inside, and then because you do top stitch and around, and see my little top stitching in that corner is not the best, but that's okay. You do top stitch all the way around the collar, and so I wanted that to look as neat as possible from the inside as well, so I heat bond all the way down and just then top stitch went around the top and came down the other end. You do have sleeve bands, so which is nice, a nice little feature. I did serge everything on the inside, so everything is serged on the inside. This is the first time I've done a full functional button placket all the way down the dress. I think there's 14 buttons on here. That's the most I've ever done that was functional. And guess what? And you'll see in the pictures too, my placket lined up. At first when I was laying it out, it didn't line up, and I was like, okay, I went wrong somewhere, and so laid it back out and made sure everything was lined up very nicely, and it was. So I am happy about that. What else do I want to say? The buttons came from Joann Fabrics. I just got, let me just show you, I just got a pack of those. Yeah, I just got a pack of those. I think it was like $1 for like 20 buttons. I just got a pack of those for this. The waistband, oh, the inside of the waistband, I did the exact same thing. I did the heat bond, and what I meant to do, I realized this later, is go back around and do the top stitching from the outside, but I was like, you know what, I had put the placket in and everything already, and I can top stitch from the outside and go all the way around. The pattern doesn't call for that, but I thought, why not do it? And it worked, and it looks nice, but I'm just gonna leave it. I am just gonna leave it. If I find, I haven't had any issues with heat bond to date, just heat bonding a seam in place like that, but if over time it seemed like it's lifting or something like that, I'll just go ahead and top stitch it all the way around, no big deal. But so far everything I've done like that, I haven't had any problems with it lifting. The bottom is just turned under, as you can see, and then stitched down. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with construction. The fabric did give me some problems if I didn't steam it. So because of the polyester, level of polyester in here, if I just call myself just ironing it, it was not holding a seam or anything. So I really had to add some steam to this in order to get a good crease and to get some of the wrinkles out. But yeah, other than that, that is it. I love this dress. This is something, yes, I can see myself easily making again. And again, I have to say, with patterns like Cashmerette patterns and other patterns that have a broader size range, it's easier just to grade between sizes, because I'm not in the market for grading up a pattern. It needs to have my measurements. I need to be able to it needs to be able to accommodate my measurements, and then I'll grade in between sizes and make any other tweaks or adjustments. I didn't have to make any other tweaks or adjustments on this pattern. As you can tell by the fit, no sway back adjustment was needed or anything like that. Like I said, the only thing I would have done differently is lengthen the skirt, at least probably by 2 inches. I could have easily seen doing that because of where it hits, and you'll be able to see that in the pictures that have been popping up. So that is the review that I have. Thank you, Myra, for asking me to do this. When I showed her the fabric in the store, she was like, I wasn't even in the store that long, and I'm just kind of, because there was fabric everywhere, and I'm just kind of looking, and I was like, oh, and I had her on Skype there, and or Instant Message something live, so she can see, and we both were like, that one. And so yeah, there was more than enough. I used approximately, I bought 3.5 yards. I want to say I used about 3 yards for this dress, because I have almost a yard left, so maybe I used just a little bit more, you know, scraps and everything, but I have a solid yard, about a solid, no, I'm sorry, a solid but a quarter yard probably left, that will be used for a bag lining, actually. So yes, I absolutely love this dress. I don't know why it took me so long to make it. I guess maybe I was just waiting for the perfect fabric, but when I saw this at A to Z Fabrics, I was like, I know exactly what I'm making. It was easy. I knew what I was going to make, and so I'm happy I went with this. So that is that. I will leave all of the information about Sewtwinning down in the description box. You can also go watch Myra's video. I will leave her video in the description box, and pop up pictures that she have shared with me as well. And so yeah, that is it, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and of course I will get back to you as soon as possible. And stay tuned for Sunday's video, which shall be my a couple reveals for the Sew News capsule. So that's all I have for today, but thank you, everybody, and everything that I've talked about will be linked down in the description box below. Thank you again, and if you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you on Sunday. Have a blessed rest of your week. Bye.